I'm meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Storm Trackers. Here's the latest information we have on Dorian based on the 5 p.m. Sunday advisory. This is still a monster storm, Category 5 storm, maximum sustained winds at 185 miles an hour. The storm made landfall during the afternoon hours right here on the Abaco Islands and is now going to be moving across Grand Bahama Island as we go through the next 12 to 24 hours. In fact, here's the track of this. Staying as a Category 5. This is through overnight tonight. This plot right here is by 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday, still with 165 mile an hour winds. And then it starts taking that curve up to the north. You see that there's a Category 4. That would be overnight Monday into Tuesday. And then Tuesday afternoon, still a 4. But you see here the center of this track keeps this from making a direct landfall on Florida. However, the cone is still over Florida. The cone is the margin of error of where the center of the storm could go. It's not showing the impacts, it's showing the margin of error of where the center of the storm could go. So it still could be that that center line does get closer to the Florida coastline. The models have been pretty consistent though in keeping it off of the coastline. And then as we head into Thursday, here you can see the storm. Okay, so this jumps from Tuesday afternoon to Thursday afternoon, and you see how this kind of curves around near the Georgia coastline. They will be feeling some impacts on the Georgia coastline with some heavy rain and some strong winds there, most likely at least some tropical storm force winds, and then maybe a landfall along the North Carolina coastline, or it may just brush it there. And then by Friday afternoon, Category 1 storm as it moves up toward the north and also to the east. So here's a look at what we're watching. This is a look at the spaghetti model plots. These pretty much go along the same trajectory as what we just saw here from the National Hurricane Center. You're looking for the consensus of those lines here, and it takes that similar curve as we go through the next few days. Here's a look at these winds. Now, this is what I want you to really notice here. If you're concentrating on that center line, you're thinking, oh well, Florida's not going to get a direct hit or Georgia won't get a direct hit. They still could, but they will also be feeling some impacts there. Just look at these winds that are going to be moving in, just hammering the Florida coastline up to the north of that, and then even into the Georgia coastline in the middle of the week. That's when we feel like that we're going to have some tropical storm force winds there. In fact, here's a look at those tropical storm force winds. The yellow that you see right there is a look at the tropical storm force winds, and it will be moving into the South Georgia coastline, we think, by early Wednesday morning. There's the timeline at the top of your screen, and then continuing on up during the day Wednesday with those tropical storm force winds. Here in Atlanta, we don't expect any tropical storm force winds or anything like that. Maybe some breezes here and there, and we really don't even think we're going to have any wind from that here in the metro Atlanta area either. Stay with us. We'll keep you posted on any new tracks that are coming in with the newest advisories. Any shift in that track could change the impacts that we would see in Florida, the Georgia coast, or even maybe here in metro Atlanta, but right now that doesn't look too likely to see any major impacts here. Watch 11 Alive for more updates. We also have updates on 11alive.com and Facebook and Twitter.